To our feature story tonight, and his dad was shot dead by an Islamic extremist. But now Curtis Cheng's son is speaking out against his father's name being used to score political points.
We begin tonight's bulletin with some breaking news, and there are reports of a shooting at police headquarters in Parramatta.
2nd, 2015 was the day the Cheng family was torn apart.
I remember I was on holidays in South Australia when I got the call from my sister telling me what has just happened, that Dad has been shot outside the police headquarters.
Alpha's dad, Curtis, on his way home from his job as a civilian accountant for the New South Wales Police. He was killed by 15-year-old Fatah Jabbar in an act described by police as politically motivated terrorism.
So you lost your dad in a really horrific way, in a way that was a total surprise, and you have to get in the public eye. Is there any way you can explain to us what that's like?
I don't know how to deal with it, but when I'm in the situation, you just choose to deal with it as best you can and hope to build something positive.
So you're a school teacher?
That's right.
There'll be people in your classroom or that you're bumping into at work every day that are the same age as this kid?
Yes.
Does that change the way that you view an attack like that?
In a way that I'm surrounded by teenagers and 15-year-olds, and it makes me kind of think how must have something gone in his life that has led to someone committing such an act of violence. Like my students, they also don't understand how someone their age could act out something like that.
On the ABC's Q&A program, incoming Senator Pauline Hanson said Curtis Cheng's death was one of the reasons Australia should block Muslim immigration.
We've had murders committed of Islam, as we had the Lint Cafe, Curtis Cheng, and the 2 police officers in Melbourne. This hatred wasn't created by me. It's belief of the Islam. Read the Quran and what the Quran preaches in it. It's hatred.
So what goes through your head when you see that?
I think it really upset me that Dad's name was kind of dragged into this debate about fear, a debate about considering marginalising a particular group of people.
So you wrote an open letter and said a lot of really interesting things. But you said that you had a concern, like your concern was linking the fear and anxiety that we're feeling to the entire Muslim population.
That's right, yeah.
Why were you concerned with that?
I feel that it's extremely unfair that the act of one person is linked to other people. Like one of my best friends, my closest friends, he's a Muslim, and I cannot see any linkage between the actions of the assailant that shot my father to one of my closest friends who took time off work, who was there when I needed someone the most.
When Alpha and his family moved to Australia from Hong Kong in the mid-90s, Pauline Hanson had just been elected to Parliament.
I believe the danger of being swamped by Asians. They have their own culture and religion, form ghettos and do not assimilate.
Alpha doesn't remember the time.
As someone who's about 8 or 9, just recently come to the country, it really adds an air that you don't feel welcome. I remember clearly people at school asking me, "Oh, do you know that you might be kicked out of the country soon?" I don't want people in the Muslim community, especially young people, to feel like that they are not welcome here, to feel like that they are Australian just because of their faith, their birth.
Is there a part of you, though, that wants to just say to the whole country, you know, hands off? This is my pain. This is my story.
Yes, a part of me probably wants to just deal with it privately, but from what I've experienced in terms of talking with so many different people, it's that a lot of people besides my immediate family have been affected sort of emotionally or intellectually or politically. It is painful every time it does get brought up, but I'm finding the conversations that I'm having just fulfilling, in terms of I feel like that's sort of what I need to do for Dad's legacy almost.
It's a powerful word that you've used there, fulfilling. And to evoke your father's legacy in that way, how do you think he would feel about the conversations, such as from Pauline Hanson, but just publicly, swirling around his death?
He came to Australia, he brought our family over in the hopes of building a better life, being included in society and contributing to society. So I feel like that my message is to continue that belief that we all can contribute and build Australia as a positive, inclusive, diverse society.
You know, it's amazing, just talking to you now. I can't actually comprehend just how strong you are. Like, I try to put myself in your position. Like, no, sorry, I'm not capable of what you're doing right now. Where does this come from? How do you do this?
It's maybe it's a sense that I believe that's something that I need to do, and I need to stay strong in order for certain messages to get across. I really have no explanation to that, and I think that's where I go back to the quote that a student wrote to me in the hopes of helping me cope better, is that you just don't know how strong you are till you have no choice but to be strong. And I think that's how I can explain it.
Oh, I'm glad you're doing it, by the way. Don't get me wrong, it's an extraordinary contribution. Did that student get a good mark, by the way?
It's confidential.
Oh.
It really is. It's just turning tragedy into something
incredible, yeah.
fulfilling. Yeah.
And I spoke to him for a long time. Not for any, I just couldn't stop talking to him. And you know when someone's just got character, and it just repeatedly hits you?
Such a positivity around him too.
And also that extraordinary thing to have been the victim of the prejudice in Hanson's speeches in the 90s, and now to be her family offering to be like the poster child for her. It shows how vacuous the argument really is, doesn't it, against race and religion.
And it's important for us to remember that with all this public pain, there is a real private pain we often forget about. They just become symbols in our public conversation. There are families at the heart of that. It's important to remember.